the talent is either there or it's not. And that, I think, is something that you as an individual need to recognize. Is that something that I have? And if not, it's all good. Like, you have a different talent, you have a different worldview, but it probably just means operations is never going to be your zone of genius.
Mic check. I'm good.
Mic check. Mic check.
You can read about success all day long, but if you don't put in the work, the mindset, execution, and the hustle behind your vision, it just remains a dream.
When everything goes wrong, you have to take all the responsibility.
We uncover what high-level entrepreneurs, business owners do to rise up from hustling daily.
So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances.
The world becomes your library to help you to become better at your craft.
Join me as I share with you actionable tips to help you grow your business, learn skills, and help you level up in your self-development journey.
Your number one spot for business and personal growth is the Online Hustlers Podcast with your host, Esteban Andrade.
Every day I'm hustling.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Here today, we are in the Online Hustlers Podcast. Remember that everything that we're bringing up here is actionable tips, actionable tricks, anything that we learn from the field, we're bringing it here so that you guys take it at home and apply it right away. There's not going to be a lot of bluff like other podcasts. I really want to focus on your business. All right. All of you guys, most of you guys run remote teams, remote businesses. And today is such a special episode because we have Jhana Li, who is the queen of ops. I have my team under her program. And she's been working actually with other businesses that are digital businesses, remote teams. And you know what it takes to grow a remote team to millions of dollars a year. It takes a lot. And it takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of simple tricks that you need to understand the operational side, system side. So that's why this episode is going to be extremely valuable. I want you guys to meet Jhana. Jhana is right here, right now. And she's been helping digital businesses to grow to millions of dollars a year and fix all the little things that they actually have and they grow with, all the pains that they grow with. So the next episode, this is going to be the first episode. I'm probably going to have more of these episodes with her because I love this content. But today, let's meet Jhana. Please tell us exactly who you are, where you're coming from, so that everyone here that is listening gets the most out of it and can share it. If you share it with everyone on Spotify, Audible, and all these other channels, they can get this value.
Sounds great. What's up, guys? Great to be here. My name is Jhana Li, and let's see. I have been in operations and specifically operations for digital businesses for 4 or 5 years at this point. I've been COO for a few different 7-figure businesses. And most recently, last year, I started my own coaching and consulting firm so that I can essentially scale up the impact, the education, the value of operations and really connect with impactful, vision-based entrepreneurs in digital businesses and help them scale and grow.
That's amazing, Jhana. And I think that throughout your journey, you've actually become so passionate about operations, that is so crazy. When I speak with you, it's like I get not only like educated, but I get inspired. And like when you talk, I'm like, oh my God. So I really wanted the listeners to feel the same thing. Why'd you started loving ops, like operations as a whole?
Yeah, it's interesting because when I took my first operations job, I didn't even know that that's what it was called, right? Like, I think if I was to go to the average business owner and ask them what operations is, I'd probably get a different answer for every single person, which is so silly to me. Like, every business needs sales. We all know what sales is. Every business needs marketing. We all know what marketing is. Every business needs operations. How is it that we don't know what operations is, right? And I was that when I started my journey. And I think I fell in love with it just through trial and error, through realizing that it was a unique skill set and it was really intuition at the beginning, but it was a unique intuition that actually wasn't already represented on the team and specifically the leadership. And so I just followed the breadcrumbs and I finally figured out operations is what it's called, and it's what I'm good at and it's what I love. And so that was the line I decided to draw in the sand and dive into it and just absolutely nerd out about it, which is what I've done.
That's awesome. So when you were working on it, you didn't even know it was called operations. Of course, you had to learn through trial and error. But what really makes great an operations person, someone that works in operations? And I guess it has different names or labels, call it like
Correct.
that, in different businesses. So I'd love to learn that from you.
Like, what makes an amazing operator?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things that I look for in just the raw talent. And I have to differentiate here between talent and skill, right? Talent is a worldview. Talent is a lens. Talent is a way that, like, if I am looking at a business or I'm looking at my family Thanksgiving dinner, I'm seeing the world through the same filter, right? And the operational talent, I call it level 3 thinking. It's systems thinking. I am automatically, when I'm looking at anything, breaking that thing down into systems and patterns. I'm analyzing it for gaps. I'm trying to understand how it fits together and interacts with other systems, right? Like, I could not turn that off if I tried. Any amazing operator out there sees the world the same way. That's it, right? It's an underlying talent. And that is what gives you the raw potential to be excellent in operations or not. Skill is everything that we pile on top of that, right? It's knowledge and it's information and it's resources and it's training and it's an experience and it's time and it's all these things. All of that can be taught. All of that can be given by a mentor or a series of books or enough time and trial and error like me, right? But the talent is either there or it's not. And that, I think, is something that you as an individual need to recognize. Is that something that I have? And if not, it's all good. Like, you have a different talent, you have a different worldview, but it probably just means operations is never going to be your zone of genius.
Right. Okay. So when you were just going full into these companies, like, you recognized that you had an operations talent, like some sort of something for operations, right?
Yeah.
And when you're looking at other team members or people that you also want to bring in your team, like, what are those things that are super recognizable that we're looking in, before even getting them to work with us, that you need to understand? These are the points I want to bring to my team.
You're talking about for any role or just operations?
I would say, let's call it, an operations can also be called a team leader. Would that be fair?
I would call that management, not necessarily
Management?
operations. Yep.
Okay. All right. So then let's break it down, because, like, operations is such a big thing, and people, I think, need to understand it in a level that we can break it in. Because operations, you can call an operator someone that does, I guess, cold calling, like they're operating in that cold calling.
Sure. The term is not so clear.
Yeah, exactly. So let's make sure that we have someone in that, like, someone understand here from our listening, like, wow, operations, growing businesses through these systems and learning how to get the best operator or get the best operator out of you. What type of operators do we need to grow businesses? Okay.
So let's start with just my definition of operations. And again, I'm not saying it's the right one. It's just the one I've come up with. I define operations as any act or action within a business that is required to optimize its core 4 resources. Those resources are time, energy, money, and human potential. Guys, at the end of the day, your operator or your operations team, think of it as like the financial advisor in your business. Your financial advisor's job is to take your pot of money and get a 10% return instead of an 8%. Right? Your operator's job is to take your pile of time, energy, money, and human potential. These are the resources at work in your business, and get you a 10% return instead of an 8%, right? They are there to maximize the return on investment for every single action and every single day and every single second and every single dollar that your team is investing into your business, so that it is driving the maximum potential growth, revenue, profit to that company, right? Does that make sense, Esteban?
Makes sense. Makes total sense. Cool. So right now, obviously, a lot of the listeners are either digital marketing agencies or, for example, wholesaling companies that they do acquisitions of homes and then sell it. They flip contracts, sell it to investors. They all need this. And I'm pretty sure they get stuck at some point and in some revenue level or at some amount of clients level, where they cannot just grow and need operations. So let's talk with what you know and what you have been going through. Let's say, what will be the journey in the operations level to grow a business that starts doing 0 from scratch all the way to 100 $1,000 a month? And how does the evolution of operations would look like?
Sure. I wouldn't say that revenue is the best metric to take there, only because it's going to depend on the business model, right? I'm not familiar enough with the revenue model of real estate wholesalers to say that it's going to be at exactly this revenue mark. That being said, guys, it doesn't matter, right? Because it's not about a revenue number. It's about a volume of complexity, right? Again, it's about hitting a certain volume of time, energy, money, and human potential to be managed, to be optimized. You have all of those resources at work in your company when it's just you in your mom's basement with a computer. But there's not enough efficiency loss, and there's not enough efficiency, like potential efficiency gain in that small of an operation to be worth optimizing. Like we're talking about cents on a dollar, right? Like it's nothing. As your company grows, as your team grows, as your volume of clients grow, as the complexity of your business grows, every single additional piece of complexity represents potential gain, potential efficiency, potential optimization. So when you hit that tipping point where the complexity in your business has exceeded what you can manage, when the balls that are getting dropped and the wires that are getting crossed and the information that's getting lost is starting to cost your business money, it's time to invest in an operations expert or in operations in order to take that money off the table and put it back in your pocket, right? Those leaks in the bucket are starting to cost you. They're starting to grow bigger. And so I would say that in any business model, your business is going to tell you when you need operations, right? Shit's going to start breaking. Like it's just going to start to break. And so when that happens, operations is the solution, right? It's not cool. I need to sell more, or I need better leads, or I need to hire a different team, right? Like apply systems, processes, team infrastructure, optimize the complexity that you have within your business. And that's where we start operations and we go from there.
Wow. Okay. So optimize the operations that you go in the business and create the systems. All right. So for example, so real estate wholesalers, they usually start by acquiring their leads through cold calling or SMS marketing, right? And they, at some point, they get so many leads, can't even handle stuff. They have to get someone that can continuously receive these leads, obviously, and at the same time do the work in the back end, which is after a lead is converted into a contract, you can now have it as a deal because they have to go and sell it to an investor. All right.
Okay.
So a lot of wholesalers, they struggle on, let's say, in the systems side, in the operations side, on okay, now I'm getting two to three deals a month, but I can't grow. Like I obviously the coaches all say, oh, hire VAs, hire this, hire, like have a marketing channel that works and be able to, have your cold calling team and potentially a closer, so that you can remove yourself from the business. But really, no one really understands like why, like, or really understands like what are those steps that I really have to take moving forward. Like, I'm sure that at the company that you helped grow through operations, all right, you've done specific switches or specific tweaks, optimizations that are in a micro level, and help them with the team. Can you walk us through like some examples when most businesses usually feel stuck and they need to like include operations in order to really grow?
So guys, the reason that I see most businesses get stuck is because not out of any lack of one operational tweak, like I wish I could tell you it's one magic pill and here it is. It's a lack of the operational lens, period, right? Going back to talent, when that worldview, when nobody across the business is looking at it through the lens of systems and patterns and inefficiencies, then all of those little inefficiencies will continue to aggregate and stack up in your business, and it will stall you out. It will stagnate you, right? And your brain, if you're the visionary or the business owner, is saying, well, I need to sell more, or I need to market to better leads, or I need to improve my product, because these are the levers that fit with your worldview, your talents, right? It is not a lack of a project management system or a Slack channel or an SOP that is stagnating you out. It is the lack of an entire talent that is missing on your team. And that's what an operator does. That's what a COO does, an integrator, call them whatever you want, right? But that is the unique missing link that they bring, because they can tell you, cool, you're not stagnating because you aren't selling enough. You're stagnating because your time isn't going towards the highest value activities. Your team is being stalled out because they're spending all of their time chasing down information instead of actually executing their work. Your, focus is being used inefficiently because you're consistently being pulled into random Slack notifications and client fires. Your entire company is operating reactively because you don't have the systems or the clarity of strategic vision to do otherwise, right? Like, your operator will be able to come in and help diagnose why it is that you're stagnating. The magic pill isn't a system, it's a person. Does that make sense?
Makes total sense. Okay. So you said different points in there. Let's walk through some of those points, right? Like, it's not just like a system that you have to create. It's just like that person, like that talent that eventually is what's going to help you. All right. So what was the first thing here that you created? I tried taking notes here, but went pretty fast.
If we're walking through, I think what you're getting at, Esteban, is like kind of what's the evolution of operations within a business, right?
Yeah, let's do that.
The general best practices are going to follow a pattern, guys. At the very beginning, you don't have any operations. Operations are a distraction. Don't focus on them. You don't need them. Figure out what it is that you're selling, right? That's like the 0K plus range. You're just trying to figure out what your product is and how to sell it. That is the only thing that matters. Figure it out. Once you have your acquisition machine kind of built, right, you have a reliable way of marketing to your leads and selling your leads. Now we're starting to step into operations. You're probably hiring your first team, so you need a way to communicate with them. Slack is probably going to be one of the first things that you invest in operationally, because you need a way of communicating with your team and a way of communicating with your clients. The second core pillar that you're going to find the need for is a way of centralizing and organizing information. I call this a project management system, a PMS, right? And so your project management system is going to be that central warehouse, that central repository of all of the information that is being managed, collected, used by your team in the day-to-day execution and fulfillment of your business, whatever that is, right? Project management systems are relevant for marketing agencies. I saw a refurbished forklift business where they needed a project management system, right? Like, it doesn't matter. That is probably going to be the next core pillar. The third core pillar that you're going to need is HR. Very, very quickly, the primary bottleneck in your business is going to become your people and your ability to manage those people. So let's figure out how to hire well, how to onboard and train people well, how to manage them well, and set them up for success so that they can execute at highest levels of productivity and efficiency.
Wow. Okay. All right. Sounds good. So we have HR, the last one that you just mentioned, being able to have, because I see this like so often. My team members are not, they're not lasting in my company. They just leave. You know what I mean?
Sure.
My talent is leaving.
Sure.
And then you go and then you probably have to ask a question like, what does your onboarding look like? All right. What does your expectations that you set to your team members, to those A players look like? And like, how do you nurture the relationship? Like, how are you currently, how do you go through the training that they have to go, or what does the training look like? And how are you currently nurturing their relationship with that team member so that they stay here? And I think it goes to the topic just like, how do we actually get A players and keep A players in our team, which is a very interesting topic. I think a lot of people find VAs or other or just regular employees or any employee, and they are like, I love this person, and then this person just leaves.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Totally. This person just goes to another company. Is it me? Is it my company that didn't give them what they needed? Is it the pay?
Right.
What is it?
Yep. Definitely.
What was your opinion on all of that?
I have many opinions on all of that. Guys, if we go back to the original definition, time, energy, money, human potential. Human potential, in my opinion, is one of the least utilized, one of the most underutilized resources in the average business that I see. Think of your human potential, right? That's just the wellspring of potential that each person on your team brings to the table every day, to use or not, is like a giant pile of money sitting in your bank account. Most business owners let the money just sit in the bank account. They don't touch it. They don't make any effort to use it, utilize it, maximize the return of it, right? Guys, take the money out of your bank account. If you guys are seeing that your team is not showing up creatively, innovatively, proactively, they're not showing up as A players, they keep leaving, I keep hiring the wrong people. If that is data that your business is giving back to you, I am so sorry to inform you, the problem is not your people. The problem is your leadership. Right? If we're looking at any set of data and there's a single common denominator, that's the reason, right? And you are the common denominator, how you lead, how you hire, how you manage, how you set expectations. You're the common denominator. So that can be pretty confronting, but it's also an opportunity because we as leaders always have the opportunity to take control of ourselves, how we show up, how we manage, how we hire, and improve on that. So are there a whole bunch of systems that I recommend around how to optimize for your human potential? Yes, absolutely. We could dive into that in future episodes. But it starts with recognizing, guys, it's not on your team. If you're seeing a common pattern of behavior from your team, ask yourself, how am I creating this in them? How can I take responsibility for what it is that I am seeing? Behaviors are learned. I promise not everybody on your team just sucks. Right? I promise that is not the case. Versus on my team, I had somebody who started part-time and within 2 weeks, she quit her other job so that she can come join me full-time, right? We make choices as leaders, which kind of behavior we're going to get from our teams.
Huge. Wow, Jhana. So right now, just to have a little bit of clarity, you're currently helping other operation-minded people to reach their best potential and potentially work at really great companies after you have taught them everything, right?
Yep.
Are you currently focused on digital marketing, or do you think that these operation people that you have been helping and training, can they be placed in different other industries or niches or business models?
Yeah, great question. What I love about operations personally is that I genuinely believe it to be universal. Genuinely. The language may change, the set of tools may change, but the underlying best practices when it comes to optimizing for these resources, guys, they don't change. Money is money, people are people, business is business. As long as those things stay the same, operations has value and the best practices apply. So I train my operators to be universal operators. They understand the best practices, they understand the theory, and they understand how to apply that critically to any business that they walk into. So will they work best with digital service-based businesses? Yeah, I don't really mess with supply chains, can't help you there. But if you have a digital service-based scaling business that already has its product figured out, already knows how to sell it and fulfill it, then you need operations, and my operators can probably help you.
Okay. And if someone here listening, that is a listener, has someone that, hey, this person, I know that they are amazing. Like they're potentially a plays rock stars, they're rocking my world, my business, but I really want to help them. And I know that their integrator part, which by the way, there is a test, whether you can find whether they're integrators or not by the rocket fuel. I think it's like crystallizer test. Everyone listening here should take it, give it to their team and see, what they are. There's other tests too. But let's say they have this person, all right, and it's like integrator based but I really want to help them. Like, what are those things that you're gonna walk them through, or like how can you help an operator literally level up their role?
So that is a lot of the operators that find their way into my program, guys. Again, operations is a talent, and there are not very many training programs or mentorship programs out there to help operators convert that talent into a genuine skill set and add value to your business through it, right? So that is what Ops Academy does. If you have an individual on your team that you're like, based off of Jhana's description and her definition, I think I actually might have this person already. They're proactively fixing systems. They're proactively organizing things. They're constantly coming to me asking about, could I make this better, or how could we make this better? That might be an operator just waiting to be unlocked. That's a person that I can absolutely work with. Because again, they have the talent. All they need is somebody who already knows to give them the experience, the mentorship, the skills, the resources, the templates that they can then take and apply within your business.
Guys, so, they kind of have.
Go for it.
Can't wait to have a second episode with you where we actually dive in. I know that you're going to set time, set schedule. Let's go. So I everyone that's listening, just share this episode away. I'm going to give my thoughts here on operations after this. But like, I'd love to have you, Jhana Li. How can people actually get you? How can people reach you or anything? Or follow you on Instagram?
Probably the best way to do it, guys, would either be follow me on Facebook or grab me on my website, www.jhanali.com. There's a link on there to book a call with me. Happy to hop on a free discovery call with you, dive deep into essentially diagnose what's going on in your business. What are the bottlenecks that you're feeling right now? And if there's something that I can do to support you, we can chat about that.
I love this. Let's go for a second episode in a few episodes after this. Thank you, Jhana.
Right. Bye, y'all.
You're the best. Bye. Wow, guys. So operations, systems, this is something that I continuously to improve and struggle with. Every single day, I try to get better. I came from an engineering background, so I kind of have a little bit of engineering behind it and systems, but I never really managed people. I never was a leader in my other jobs. I never was like a team on a sports leader or something like that. So there's a lot of stuff that you have to learn about operations and being an actual operator. And like she said, finding those little gaps and cracks that happen in your business that ultimately is just, it could be so small and it could be like happens on a daily basis, but it's so important because those little things, micro optimizations, will make you money. All right, would not only save you money, but make you money. And Jhana is specialized in this. She will rock your operations team. She's currently helping my operations team, and I think we're doing fairly well. We're about 120, 150K a month or something like that. So it applies to any business. And I really like to have a second episode with her. So if you guys listen to this, you found some value, just share it away. We're going to have more episodes about operations and systems, like true operations and systems. So I can't wait for this. I'm sorry that it was only like 25 minutes, but let's freaking go. Let's crush it. And follow Jhana on Instagram and follow Jhana on Facebook. I believe it's Jhana Li or something like that. But yeah, go back to the episode and you will be really, really, really good if you talk to her on a discovery call. You'll understand a lot of things. All right. Take care, guys.
Every day I'm hustling.